welcoming everybody who has shown up today. And I just want to apologize that we had to shift Gary Helsinger's talk today. So, for those of you showing up, appreciate you coming to today's conversation with me leading. I am the interim executive director of Pandion. And we are talking today about, and thank you, Natalie, for helping me with this, but artist to operator, designing a sustainable music career in 2026, Learning Lab edition. And I wanted to also set the expectations to say that before we begin, this isn't a hype session or a talk about going viral. It's a learning lab, meaning that we're here to reflect, to write, to gain clarity, and to design the foundation beneath your creative life. I want to name something important up front. You're not meant to build your career alone. We're meant to be here helping each other, especially in this day and age where there's so much to do for an individual, for a creator. So the intention is to see how we can see each other, acknowledge each other, and how we could potentially work with one another. So I'm going to invite people to drop a word as we begin, a word in the chat please, because I would love you to interact about where are you in your career or creative path today? Do you feel solid, energized? Do you have clarity, confusion? Do you feel scattered? Uh, put some language in here because it also starts to inform me how to best support you during this conversation. All of so far, what everyone's writing is completely normal and human. Um, Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. Thank you so far. It's great to see where your heads are at. I'm reading everybody's thing. So people are feeling energized. Others are trying to encourage students with their careers. Some people are feeling scattered, lots of choices. Uh, some are undecided, unsure. How do you compete or how do you coexist with AI? All these are important pieces to you as a human being who is a creative. So throughout today's session, I want to if you find someone's strengths complement your needs, consider forming a study pair or a support pod or some kind of an accountability connection because Pandion is about connection, safety, expansion, learning, and creating and forging relationships if you so choose. Because I don't want people to feel like isolated islands. It's important that we have so much other pressure that we're operating from as people, just as human beings on the planet, let alone where our passion and our creativity and our fulfillment comes from. So we're here to encourage you to connect, to reduce overwhelm, and to help stay in motion with feeling supported. I'll bring this up again later, but I want to hold the intention from the start that this is a shared space, not a solitary one. And as we move ahead into this session together, just to allow yourselves to arrive, land, breathe deeply. Breathing's really important. I know when I don't take deep breaths, I don't drink coffee, but I have a ton of energy and I have to remember to keep getting centered as best as possible because from that place, I'm making really good decisions on if I'm managing an artist, if I'm interacting with an agent, if I'm talking to the band or artists, encouraging them and how they can continue to develop. So here we go into slide one, which we just hit, but slide two is clarifying that this is not about talent. It's about building structure that supports your individual rhythm. And each of you have your own rhythm. As you've said, you're in different places and different points in time of your creative output. So your creative flow matters, and yet it needs a framework. So as a small reflection, where, and I'd love for you again to put in here, where are you losing focus or energy in your career? Where is that? Is that in your creativity? Is it if you have bandmates, are you having arguments? Is it that you're unsure of where you want to go with your career? Are you trying to figure out a track and you're stuck with not being able to create a lyric? I mean, where are you guys and gals and they, their, thems? Where are you finding where you may be losing focus? All right, you can write it to yourself or drop it in the chat, which is super helpful. Okay. So marketing and promoting seem to be a key component so far. If there's something I'm missing, Natalie, that you're seeing that I'm not addressing. So this is meant this time together is here to go through a sense of reflection, checking in with yourself, and then creating a roadmap on how you're going to get to the next step. So, you know, what stops most people is the structure. It's not the talent. Sometimes it's a talent, but mainly it's sort of like, how do I create my sense of self-motivation? It's a lot of noise out there. You not looking over your shoulder to see what someone else is doing, that can create a lot of distraction. It's really creating that natural creative rhythm for you. So some of you work best at 2 a.m. Some of you may work best early in the morning. Some of you have big, expansive creative bursts. Some of you work slowly and steadily. Some of you need chaos. Some of you need quiet. So again, everyone has their own rhythm, but we have to coexist with these rhythms within the industry. So it's identifying like, how do I take where I'm at and then collaborate with the people I need to collaborate with, and then people in the industry. So again, it's embracing and understanding your natural rhythm while building a framework around that. Um, as we move to slide three, because I'm going to open up to conversation, but when we move to slide three, we're talking about strategy, your brand, who you are as a creative entity, if it's a band or individual, if you're trying to find work in the music industry, and then management. So just sitting with yourselves, which system feels weakest for you right now? And some of you have noted that it might be planning, it might be figuring out how you optimize your single, your track, who you are as an artist. So within that, we're on to slide three, Natalie. Are you there?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we're on slide 3.
okay, thank you so much. I'm looking at my notes. Thank you for that. So in that, um, oops, my notes went away. And pardon me, I wasn't meant to do this talk. Usually I'm a little bit better prepared, but I literally had to jump in because we had to shift from Gary's family emergency. So I appreciate everyone's patience. So in that, so crazy, my notes just totally went away on my screen. So yeah, so strategy is the lane that you're choosing. Brand is how people understand who you are, and management is the weekly rhythm that keeps you moving. So in that you're contemplating, and I think that this is important too, if you're trying to figure out what's the best strategy for me to take, I'm thinking that hopefully some of you have other colleagues or people in your circle that you can talk to about strategy, but it's also looking at other artists that you appreciate or that you are a fan of or that you love, and looking at how they have done their strategy. And some of the issues are is that some of these bands have a lot of money, they have the ability, they have management, they have a big team. So in your strategy, if you're an island, this is where working together with other people in the community of Pandion to help develop your strategy is potentially a way in which you could also take from what Pandion has to offer. You might, what we're in the process of doing is creating a community board, but what we, in the interim of that, is at least writing to us at hello at pandionmusicfoundation.org and telling us and asking us, this is where I need more help. Uh, could we help you? Because if I have the time, I'll do it, or I'll get another mentor or somebody that's an expert in the field to help you. And or we create study groups in a way where you get pods of people where you may be really good at a sense of self-management, but somebody else might be really good at strategy, where someone else might be good at branding, and then you start leveraging each other, you start trading and helping each other, and so you're not feeling alone, you're not feeling crazy, and that you're also getting the work done. So for me, when I'm working with independent artists, a lot of them don't enjoy doing social media because they're very pure and they'd rather focus on the art. And so I help them build out uh, or I encourage them or I help them build out their own little team of people through their fans. You must have a few fans that write to you or appreciate you, or people that are friends and family that you'd even ask to help you with some of your strategy around implementation around your social media. So that's the thing to keep, as you are an independent artist, that ability to be resourceful, because you get tired, sometimes you just want to take a nap, but it's trying to be as resourceful and resilient and looking at who is around you. And Pandion is here as one of those resources. So I really want to encourage people to continue to reach out to us, hello at, ask us questions. We'll try and tie you up with other people that want to be of service and help each other. That is one of the key components too of why we exist. So slide 4. Does anybody have any questions so far while I'm moving through this? Are you looking at the questions, Natalie?
Yeah, we don't have any new questions.
Okay. Yeah, people are talking about strategy. Well, when you guys are talking about strategy, what is that? What are your questions, Michelle or Kevin? You want to throw a question in here, and maybe I answer and it can help. And I see Eddie, you talked about management. Do you guys want to ask a specific question around strategy? Is that around how you get your work done, or how you release a track, or how you enroll somebody to help you produce? What kind of strategy are you looking for? Anybody, if you want to ask a question, Michelle, if you're saying optimize strategy, what does that mean? Releasing tracks. Okay. So, and are you releasing that track on Spotify, Pandora, Rhapsody, like Apple? Where are you releasing it on your own Instagram? I have several notices ready to go out. I'm not sure how to get them. Okay. Streaming services. So, um, releasing tracks. So you want to make sure, I know we've talked about this before if you guys have shown up, but this is really, really important. I'm just going to keep saying it because I keep seeing it show up in other conversations. You want to make sure that all your metadata is tagged and all of your admin is correctly handled. And then you want to, in your release, um, if you do not have money, you are hopefully you've been, sorry to say, you're doing your social media, you have been networking in some way, shape, or form, you've been collecting email addresses. Hard data is really important. So you can share when you have a new release or when you have a new piece of merch or when you are going to be going out on tour. So data collection is uber, uber important. If people are open to giving you their cell phone numbers, you can do, direct marketing through cell phone or mobile numbers and or through newsletters, through their email. So when you're strategizing about your track, you're getting everything together, your picture, your artwork. When's the last time you released your track? You try to look at what you did before, see if anything you learned from that, if it's helpful, you did something that worked or it didn't work, and you're trying to do it better this time. So if you're releasing a series of tracks, then that turns into an EP, or maybe it turns into a full album release. And there's the strategy around that is that you're trying to also create a story. Why this track, you want to talk about what was maybe the inspiration, who helped you make the track. You want to, in that strategy of releasing the track, what's your narrative? Why are people going to be interested? And this is when, if you have money or don't have money, but when you're coming from a very independent place, you're having to really relate to people person to person. And that grassroots and that one person turns into five people turns into 20 is a real thing. And so the more you can give insight on your process and how this track even came about, that is something to consider. Everything feels so oversaturated now. It can be discouraging and hard to find the right path to break through the noise. Yeah, that's where your narrative and your individuality, I mean, it's tough to keep going. I'm an entrepreneur. I have to continually pick myself up, knock on doors, bang on doors. My idea is great. Da 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 da. It gets exhausting. I want to take a dirt nap half the time. So, in the same way as I'm a different kind of creative, and I've worked in this music space for a long time and with a bunch of other creatives. But in the same way as your musician, as your own entity of creating this your passion, your what you live for, what excites you to get out of bed, or maybe it makes you also stay in bed because it can be tiring. But I think your narrative is really important to cut through the noise. Some people use distraction tactics that are just ridiculous. If you're really more authentic and you can explain and express your narrative, you're gonna have to do research. It's like, okay, who am I? In particular, I'm going to use you, Jordan. You're a, an artist that it's two women fronted by two women. You have two instruments, two musicians in the back, or they're part of your whole, but you two are the front. So even though there are other women out there who are singers and have their narrative, it's like, we'll talk about yours. It's like, oh my gosh, this is my, sorry, if you don't mind, Jordan, there's a background. You can talk about why you two are working together, how you got together, how you make your music. And even though it may feel as if um, uh, it may feel like there's a lot of noise out there and it's oversaturated, still being able to tell your story and identifying where am I going to do that? Am I going to do that through busking, through my songwriting? Am I going to tell my story uh, going to network and tell five people about what I'm doing? Am I going to research and find some little podcast that would want to support a women-fronted artist? Do I need to go? Seriously, like you guys got to be really hungry to be artists these days. It's exhausting. Do I go to my local college campus and talk to the person that does music to see if we could play in their class and talk about song structure? Like you got it, this ability to be creative and resourceful. It's what you need to do, and the more we can pull together and say, hey, I did this, or I did this, or I did that, that really worked. It also helps to share those types of ideas. So yeah, naps are good. It is exhausting, and I think us coming here together as a group and community in Pandion to share about what's working and what's not also has you not feel like you're cuckoo and you're just running up a hill, and there's no refuge because Pandion also is here to be a sense of refuge for you. It really is important. I'm just going to keep, me being the ED and me being all about community. This is where it happens. This is where the magic happens. This is where you find other creativity. This is where you have somebody hold their hand out to get you out of the ditch when you're wanting to take that dirt nap. So, I there's so much more to strategy, but that I gave you some ideation on that piece. If there's another specific question that I didn't hit upon that is really important to you, you're more than welcome to email me at ko@pandionmusicfoundation.org. And where I can, I'll give some minutes and we can sit down. If you need more information, I will do my best to put together strategies for you to consider. Any of you, all of you. It's like, oh, we really want written strategies. It's like, great, I can write up a strategy. And then you have to see, is it true for you? Does it resonate? Did I already do it and it didn't do anything? Even if you've done a strategy before, probably have to try it again because sometimes those most obvious strategies they're tried and true for a reason. You just might have to tweak it just a little bit to make a little bit of a difference for your song, your track, even if you do a video, all the things. So, is there anything that before I move on to slide 4, that somebody want? I'm looking at these other questions. What are the recommended paid promotion services for independent artists? Um, yeah, you know, to be honest, those are tough. It is a racket, and the interesting thing is that I'm talking to you now, Kevin. The interesting thing about Submit Hub or Groover, sometimes it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss, and you can pay for those services. And if you're utilizing Spotify as your main platform, you'll see an increase, but then you don't see a lot of engagement, or you'll see inflated numbers, but you don't really get the true following. So that is something that the hot tip would be, man, I have to really think about that one because I've worked on all of those and it is, you have a limited budget. You're trying to put your the right search words or the right influences and the cross promotion and in those playlist places. And there's so many of them. So to be honest, let me sit with it and let me do a deep dive because I've used Groover and Submit Hub, and Submit Hub sometimes works. It's a real hit or miss. So let me think about that. Also interested in finding sync and licensing opportunities. Yeah, everybody's interested in finding sync and licensing opportunities. And the interesting thing about that is that Pandion is going to we're trying to do better at your tracks. They have to be well, you have to mix and master and get them into a really solid place. But we're wanting to continue to market and promote that Pandion's artists have songs that agencies, soups, music supervisors, those making those decisions need to utilize as a resource. So those licensing and sync opportunities, again, a very and as you know, competitive space. So I'm going to think more about that and I will send that. And Natalie, if you can make a note that I'll also send some ideation in we'll send the follow-up, Natalie, after this call of the 30-day sprint and some of the reading material. But then I'll secondary follow up again with some information. If you can make a note, Natalie, about uh, playlists and such as Summit Hub and sync and licensing opportunities for indie artists. Again, it's going to be through our relationships, through your relationships, and I would like to give you more information, which I'll spend some time seeing if I can, unearth some more. But I would really like to create uh, a what's the word I'm looking for? Where Pandion's community, that the people looking for music can depend on our catalog. So let me, though, Kevin, get back to you about some other specifics, because again, that isn't always necessary. I know many things about the music industry, and there's some areas that aren't necessarily my strong suit, but I can go to my colleagues that are really well versed in that and come back and help all of you guys. Um, so my email is, oh, thank you very much. Playlists lead to more passive listeners. Playlists can lead to more passive listeners. And it could also, 1 out of 10, if I can grab one of you, I'm pretty stoked as an artist or a manager where I'm like, yes, we got one. Because one I'm such a, you cannot give up on hope. You cannot give up on hope because what's the purpose of creating art? If we're just gonna you got to keep hoping that someone is gonna turn into one person and 10 people and this, that, the other. I mean, even another strategy is having a dinner party and inviting your friend and saying they have to invite 3 other people and you play your tracks for them. It's old school, but it works. You're starting at the ground. You can hit high, but most of you don't have those ridiculous budgets to hit high. And there's still so much noise. So how do you take what you're doing and work it at a human being level so then it just starts to grow from that point? And again, these things work. It's just taking the time and the belief to do it. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just here trying to be all of your guys' biggest cheerleader. Can we go to slide 4, Natalie? So what actually works? 5 patterns from the field. There are 5 patterns I've seen across labels, promoters, agencies, management, artists, nonprofits, founders, etc. Number 1, clarity creates acceleration. People can work with you faster when they understand you. So that clarity piece is also, who am I as an artist? And that's evolving. I get that, but there's a core of you. You're like, okay, I really am this. And you might take a big leap and say, okay, I was Joni Mitchell, but now I'm gonna go be thrash metal. You might do that. And your core fan base will go with you because they just think you're so weird and interesting. But the clarity piece around, I really stand for this. You can rely on me because you're always going to get something qualitative. I'm going to be personable and answer questions and give you cool little interesting widgets that don't cost a lot. I'm going to do my best to come and play in your backyard. What's the clarity of who you are as the artist? What is your edge? Number 2 is proof beats promises. People trust what they can see, not what you hope to do someday. So again, you're showing up, you're building that trust. they see you as a person. I mean, if you're maybe, a lot of the times artists also relate because they had a breakup. The parents got divorced, somebody died in their family. Like there's we have tragedy. We're humans. There's things to celebrate. Sometimes you're just kind of humming along in the middle, and there's sometimes those things that are just poopy, and so you sing about all the variations of what you're feeling emotionally, but then also to talk about it and allow people to access a little bit more about why you wrote that and where it came from allows people to be relatable to you. And that authenticity, you can't buy that. Cannot buy authenticity. People try and they fail. So that's part of the proof beats promises. Number three, consistency compounds. So for me, when I'm working with people I'm training or on my staff or anybody, it's like, oh my gosh, even myself, consistency makes a difference. Small, steady progress beats big, dramatic bursts every time. So you're thinking about strategy, you're trying to figure it out. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do a little bit more research. I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try and do two posts at least a week, or I'm going to, rehearse with myself every day or, every couple of days. So whatever that may be, I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to worry. The worrying just causes more chaos, and sometimes people say it's a great motivator, but I find that it's a depletion of your nervous system and it doesn't make you feel good. So consistency compounds, trying to do good things for yourself, for your career, and for your well-being. Um, Number four, community beats virality. A deeply connected circle of 200 to 200, I'm sorry, of 20 to 200 supporters is more powerful than a million passive views. So again, like when you're looking at playlists, you're trying to do this, that, the other. It's like, gosh, how can I go out there and really enroll my mini army? You got one fan. It's like, yo, go share my stuff. Go, can you be on my team? Like, go talk about me. Go talk me up. Are you shy? Okay, you don't want to do that. Like, find someone else. Like, try and find those people that are gregarious or that are super pumped on what you're doing, and they just want to like, oh my gosh, did you hear so and so's new track? You got to check it out. Those supporters are more core than someone said in this list too, the passive listener. Um, so the community, I'm just going to keep preaching that community is really key. And number five, operators outlast hustlers. Careers are built on rhythm, rest, clarity, and systems outlast careers built on adrenaline. I am definitely a person that has a lot of adrenaline, but I have to maintain a sense of equanimity. I have to go back to my center, or I'm just going to burn out. And so the more you can identify what's my rhythm, where I gotta rest, even though, when you're trying to get out of track and you're going to stay up 24/7, or maybe you're on a deadline, maybe you do get you pitch for something, you do get a sync, you're trying to make that deadline. Those are those heightened moments, but that consistency around operating from a sense of stability will definitely outlast the person that just burns a bright light and then it just goes down. So breathing is really helpful. And think for yourself, what's the number of the pattern you need to most strengthen? One, two, three, four, five, or is there something else that you feel that you need to strengthen? And getting honest with yourself in your process is really important too. There are a lot of artists out there that I've worked with or come across that this generation, I don't know how old everybody is, but uh, there seems to be a little bit more mindfulness around this generation-ish. Previous, two ago, my generation or so, we were just, everyone was being naughty, extreme behavior, just being super cuckoo and learn the hard way. Either people were passing away or their careers just went down the toilet. They had one good song, that was it. They didn't know how to pull out and make another track. So this ability to stay resilient and hit your top five is really, really important. So, you know, as you be with your number, uh, and as you're sharing in this talk with everybody, you're not alone. Everybody's here for a reason. All these artists are here. We're all trying to learn from each other. So we're here to still reach out to each other. I mean, again, write hello at Pandion Music Foundation. Let us know if you want to be put together with somebody in the pod, or write in the group here. Just say, hey, is somebody available to have a chat about strategy or helping me research? Let's all pull together and research the most effective playlists for developing artists or new artists or mid-tier artists that are on a minimum budget. Now you're all pulling together. Now it's not just one person. You're all leaning on each other saying, oh my gosh, I did just release something and I found this group of people really care. Because everybody says they care. Everyone says they're going to get you great numbers. I tried all of them out. I tried them all around the world. I'm like, oh, this one is in Croatia. I'm going to try this for this dance track. Or, oh, this one is in wherever they were. I'm gonna try this for this, sobby, sad indie track. Like I literally was trying to identify. That's why I'm gonna take me a minute to see what I can find. But if anybody has that kind of information, let's be resourceful and use each other in this way. Share that information. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just been speaking. I don't know. I'm gonna look. Is there anything in here? Oh, tried Patreon in the past, but need to rekindle that. Yeah, Patreon's an interesting one. House concerts are fun. Let's see. Building friendship can develop fans. That's very true. Here, I'm reading somebody here. Let's see. Um, so someone who has a lot of may have some challenges focusing, and it doesn't necessarily are able to meet long-term deadlines. Um, okay. So this is what this talk is about too, is accepting who you are and asking for help. And there's no one's wrong. Everyone is incredible beings. And when something isn't working for you, then if you want to have a conversation with me specifically, we can do that. But you need to find what sucks is that society says we should behave a certain way and operate a certain way. It's not necessarily always true. I always try to find my own voice in all the chaos and then also play by someone else's rules. However, embrace who you are and your inability, how you feel you're unable to meet deadlines or do certain things because your mind is racing. You're probably able to channel that and do some really cool artwork and creativity. And so now you just need a little bit of help and kindness towards yourself because there's nothing wrong with you at all. Just need to be more gentle with yourself and say, okay, I know it's going to take me a little bit more time to get this done. Now that I know that, what do I need to do for me and who I am and how I show up to get these deadlines done? Maybe you need to make the deadlines not so immediate. Maybe you need to continue, maybe you need to find a different way to track time that works for you. And again, I don't want to name names. I mean, it's in here, but if you want to write me specifically, we can also have a conversation about that because the biggest piece is that there's so much noise and everyone's doing all kinds of stuff. And if you happen to feel not so great on one of your days and you look over your shoulder and someone else is doing better than you, you're like, it's like compare, despair, get rid of it as immediately as you can. Sit down, really look at what you accomplished at this point. It's like, oh, you know what? I've written 12 tracks. I have released six of them. I have bandmates who care about me. I actually know how to write a song. Like the be in the I know how to play guitar. I like be go back into what about you is great. Not that whatever person over there did whatever they did. So it's really truly this conversation today is really about, well, I know I need to operate in this societal vacuum. I need to be aware of that. And then I also need to embrace who I am in that. So this is what I'm attempting to parlay in the conversation today. Um, Natalie, can we go to oh wait, sorry, hold on. So yeah, so the thing is that one of my hopes is that some of you will form accountability pairs and again work in small learning pods, because careers don't grow in isolation. Community reduces overwhelm. It's a little my mantra here. Community reduces overwhelm. Community breeds connection, and where you can talk it out. It's important that that's what this place is. I'm just going to keep saying Pandion is that. Uh, So, have we gone to slide five, Natalie? I'm sorry. We're on slide five. Um, the 30-day sprint. So, after this talk, um, we will send you out a worksheet for the 30-day sprint for you to start building, doing your best to build your new muscle, build your new habit, create a plan. Maybe you're really great at planning. Hopefully, this will help you see something different and increase your abilities. Maybe you're not so great at planning. This will help you start to unpack and get a little bit better about that. Be as honest with yourself as you can, because through that honesty, and if you're feeling funky, like, oh, I feel like I don't do this well or do that well, reach out to us. We'll help you connect. We'll talk with you. We'll connect you with somebody that can support you in that muscle growth, because we're all evolving. We're all growing our muscles. So in this 30-day sprint, week one is I'm looking at my strategy. Week two is who am I as a you're a person, you're not a brand, but people, I'm just using business language. Who am I as an artist? What are my unique value propositions? Or they say, what are my unique value offerings to my community? It might be you are a trans person singing about that process, or you're a person of color talking about where you grew up, or you're just a person singing pop songs. You're white. It doesn't, I mean, but everybody has a reason why they're doing this. They came from somewhere. Our lives affect us. You're really great at writing poetry, but you wanted to put it into song. Like, who are you? Why you? And then week three is management. It's that management piece, because I'm going to think some of you might be lucky enough to have a manager, but a lot of you have to self-manage. And that's a lot if you're holding down. I mean, when I was in college, I had four jobs and I interned and I went to school and I played sports and I was a DJ. Like I had so much going on. I'm like, whoa. And I had to learn how to self-manage. I failed a lot, then I won a lot and I did okay. But that ability to self-manage is really, really important as you grow. You're going to continue to get better at these things, but it's getting honest about, okay, where can I do better in this management piece on, you know, playing more often, writing more, being better at releasing my track, social media. So that management piece. And then or networking, because some of you might be shy, but that's really important. You find someone that can help you, get your music out there, push yourself. Um, week four, momentum and learning. So this is what it's about. How can I create momentum with myself and my community? And how can I learn from that to continue to improve upon me as a person and how I'm creating my art and how I'm building community in that process? So, this is the operating system that we're building today. Um, not, I mean, for the rest of your life, ideally, but for the next 30 days for sure, do your best. And it's a 30-day experiment to create momentum and not to overwhelm you. It's for you to start to look at, well, where do I need to get better? Where do I need to ask for help? Um, and then, if you wouldn't mind sharing, dropping one word in the chat, what lane do you want to focus on in the next 30 days? Is it strategy? Is it brand? Is it management? Is it momentum and learning? Is it self-care? Is it being nicer to myself? Like, what is it that you're hoping that in this collective that we're here, we're all gonna make a joint commitment to each other? I'll make a commitment to you. My next 30-day sprint, be like, I need to work out more. I do self-care well for myself with prayers and being quiet, but I need to move my body more. So, I need to get away from my computer. So that's my 30-day sprint. But, if you want to share that, that would be great. We can all just be in this little pod together. I'm not looking at the comments. I don't know if there's anything that I need to look at right now, Natalie. Building brand narrative, cool. Let's see. Connecting with your audience, dope. Yep, milestones. Yay, that's a great word. Milestones. Like, what are your milestones? Um, I'm good at immediate deadlines. Write and produce a song this week is fine, but finish an album in a year. Okay. We can talk about how you can finish an album and not have it drag on and not have it be ambiguous. If you want to write me, Katie,
I
you're
had
right.
a thought on that, Co.
Yeah, go for it,
Just
please.
like
Go for it. Please
finding,
share. Go for it.
huh? Thank you. Yeah, finding like a friend or family member or a fan, like anyone who just believes in your music and really loves your music. And I feel like somebody like that might be willing to just volunteer to help be like an accountability partner for you. And not even like you wouldn't be asking them to do any work, but literally just like share your deadlines, your long-term deadlines with them, and then they could just be there to like remind you about things that and keep you on track. Just an idea.
So, Katie, do you want an accountability partner here from the group? I'm gonna look if she's right in here. Yeah, I mean, Jordan, maybe you want to follow up with Katie and you guys can bond. Jordan used to be, she's a board member of Pandion and she's the old ED. I'm her newfound friend in this position right now. Yeah, Mark, accountability part. We all need accountability partners, people. So if y'all want to share an accountability partnership, hey, Jordan, I know just because you don't have anything else to do, but maybe you can
Yeah.
help. I'm teasing. All of us are busy, but it would be great for you to get with, Mark and Katie, and
Yeah.
maybe y'all can share ideas. And if anybody else wants to be an accountability partner and you didn't put your hand up in this talk, just feel free to email me at co@pandionmusicfoundation.org or hello at pandionmusicfoundation.org, and we'll find an accountability partner for you because again, we need each other. This is the jam. Don't be an island. Don't suffer. I mean, suffering and misery creates great art, but don't do it alone. Let's all be miserable together. Let's like try and uplift each other, Let's try and really hear and be and let each other be seen and heard and held. This is what we're up to here. So, moving to slide 6, your weekly rhythm. Creation, connection and systems. So no matter your lane, all careers, both creative and industry facing, depend on three types of work: creation, making, learning, rehearsing, producing; connection, outreach, collaborations, research, community; systems, organization, admin, cataloging, alignment. So all of this matters. And so write down for yourselves now, and I'll just give you some minutes. Write down a simple, achievable weekly rhythm that includes 2 to 3 blocks. This is a place to be honest. This is a place for you to be still and say, okay, one of my blocks is creation with learning, or one of my blocks is connection with outreach more to my community, family, and friends. My systems might be, gosh, I really need to do better at admin. Blech, it's not one of my favorite things, but I got to do it. So I'm going to be quiet for a second here, more than a second, 30 seconds, and allow you guys to ponder that. And I'm going to put myself on mute and look through these questions, see if I missed anything else. So please give yourselves, write that down or say it to yourself if you're driving, but be with that. And I'll be back in about 15, 20 seconds. Okay. Hopefully that gave you enough time to contemplate that. So, slide 7, your 30-day outcome. One outcome, 4 weeks, your lane. This is where you anchor your sprint. Choose one achievable outcome for the next 30 days. Keep it real, not performative. This is between you and your future momentum. So someone put in the group here, I'm gonna do a milestone out of, I don't know, maybe building a database or being better at my newsletter, or I'm gonna create an accountability partner, and then out of that 30-day, I'm gonna create a 30-day outcome with my accountability partner because maybe you think it's something that came up in this conversation, but once you get in a conversation with your accountability partner, something else may arise. It's important to be diligent, but not so strict that you're not malleable and flexible, but that you're not so malleable and flexible that you're not getting anything done. So it's really finding that wisdom for yourself. And it comes by we fall down, we get back up, we win, we celebrate, we fall down. Sometimes we keep falling down, but then we're going to be here to pull you out. We're going to be here to see you and celebrate you. Um, there's that. And then I think I have 7A in here, slide 7A. How to use your 30-day sprint workshop. You interpret, choose, structure, reflect. So you'll receive a 30-day sprint workshop via email after this session and how you'll use it. You interpret your pre-session answers because we did a pre-session workshop, so you'll be with that and you'll have this post-session workshop worksheet. You'll choose one lane. You'll structure your weekly rhythm plus actions. You'll reflect every week on what worked and what didn't. If there are people that want to have that weekly reflection from this talk and want to do it as a group, email me or email hello, and we'll create that subgroup. This workshop is a support tool. It's not a test. This isn't about getting nervous or feeling bad. It's about feeling better, seeing where you can improve, giving yourself a break, knowing you can do it, championing your own artistry. Use it gently, use it honestly. Slide 8. Start tomorrow, start today. Choose your lane, clarify your sentence, set your rhythm, complete one proof asset, reach out to 3 people. So this is enough. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need a clear rhythm and a direction. So in that, you're choosing your lane where you think you want to work better. Maybe it's meeting deadlines. Maybe it's being better at making deadlines and then sticking to them. Again, it could be songwriting. You wait forever, and you might be your style too, to wait and have all that pressure build up, and then the information hits. You might want to relook at that if that's the way you work and it doesn't drain you and you think it's sustainable. All right. But you might find that after a period of time, it's not so sustainable, and you might want to find a different way of approaching your creativity. You want to clarify your sentence. You want to be able to say out loud, and it's kind of affirmational. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm standing for. This is what I'm going to really look at this next 30 days. Um, Set your rhythm. Allot yourself even 5 minutes a day to contemplate this. Don't be hard on yourself. If you miss a day, then spend 10 minutes the next day. But do your best to stay consistent because consistency is where the muscles get built. um, Complete one proof asset. So through the process, you're gonna work through a task and you're gonna complete it, and you're like, oh, my big goal is X after 30 days, but you're gonna make small completions that turn into your personal asset of completion. You start giving yourself credit that you worked your way towards your bigger goal. And each day, that complete one proof asset might be I literally got up every day and sat down and wrote for 30 minutes new lyrics. Oh, okay. And then the proof in that asset is that 3 days later, you can say, I just did that 3 days in a row. So it's acknowledging and clocking your personal achievement and really giving yourself that acknowledgement. Most people in life are really hard on themselves. We judge, we criticize, we feel bad, we want to compare, we want to look at all these things versus being still and really recognizing your true beauty, your true greatness, right? Everybody on this call, you showed up, that's a win. You're staying on the call, that's another win. You're asking questions, you're participating. Give yourself credit for that. So I don't think I did slide 8A, but I just wanted to talk about your career is not separate from your well-being. Your nervous system is part of your creative team. It's really important to listen to your body, to hydrate, to rest, breathe, honor your rhythm. This structure will help you grow, not won't go against you. Continue to be gentle with yourself and be rigorously honest. And this combination is what helps create transformation. So I am 10 minutes before the hour. I don't know if there are more questions. I'm going to read through here. If you have something that you want me to address, I'm totally here. Admin, yep, admin's a real deal for sure. There are people, there's accountability. Yep, we're all gonna write each other so we can get onto accountability tip. What worked well before is a decent amount of sync, which covered music business aspects often, and then other music business type workshops like finding representation in music and sync and music business generalized sync created the foundation for a lot of business. We get okay, that's interesting. Who said this? This was Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Y'all should spend a minute too in the comments because people have been saying some nice things. If you should swap information. So, uh, Jordan, do you mind just knowing that Justina Black wants accountability partner? Um,
Yeah, I've marked everyone down
you
who's.
have?
If
Okay,
anyone
put up,
else wants an accountability partner, put your email or DM
just say,
me
because
your
we have your
email.
emails. Yeah, stick it in here and then
Yeah,
we'll
just put
make that happen.
little
Yeah, rhythm
notes.
and repetition is very true. But sometimes the rhythm and repetition is people feeling bad and feeling sad and giving themselves a hard time. So the rhythm and repetition you want is to be more uplifting towards yourself instead of trying to beat yourself up, right? That rhythm and repetition needs to transform something that's going to improve your creativity, not where you're feeling bad. You know, I've worked with many people. I'm like, oh, we got to get rid of those thoughts because that is just not helping you get out of bed. You know, you're great. You know, so you've had a bad month or whatever, some time. You know, it's like, okay, thank God you're a human being, right? That's what we're human beings, not doings. We're beingness into this creativity. So, um, everybody that showed up, again, I apologize that it wasn't Gary Helsinger. We will get someone to speak on sync. We have a bunch of great speakers coming up, expert speakers, sessions coming up January through May. We booked everything. We're going to be launching a new website. We've just got a lot of wonderful things happening. We've been trotting along, head down, working hard. Natalie, who's on this call, she's been working hard. We have somebody new on our team. I think she's still on this call. She might be. Sammy, she just joined our team. Jordan is still part of the team. Like we're all committed to being of service and helping you reach your goals in a more calm, fluid, loving, connected, inspirational way. So I'm grateful that everybody showed up. I hope it was useful. If you have other questions or needs, you have my email or hello. And if there's something else somebody wants to address before I jump out, let me know. I'm just looking at the messages. Nope, everyone's just saying thank you. Well, I appreciate you all very, very much, and I want you to have a gorgeous rest of your week and weekend, and look out for our email. And then, okay, Raphael, you want to stay on the call? We can have a chat. Um, and Thank you. Well, we miss you too, and we're glad you're here, Deborah. And we will, if you want to stay on, thank you, Justina. I'm glad you were here and found it useful. Raphael, if you want to stay on the line, we can chat. And everyone else, yeah, just please take care of yourselves and each other. And we're here for you. Pandion, where you're seen, heard, and held, and all those good things.